Taylor Hollander, thanks for taking the time. And I would say a pretty darn good start for your team. 4-3 loss, but to a Power 4 school in Colorado.
Yeah, it was a great start. I love the fact that they came out with energy. They took the doubles point. They're actually listening and incorporating the things that we practice and preach day in and day out.
Were you surprised at all in the fact that they came out, started so well, and competed really all day long?
I mean, you are surprised. I know what they're capable of, but it was a surprise that the nerves started later in the matches rather than earlier in the matches. They were able to work through them earlier, and then I think when we got those leads that we weren't used to having, we needed to have that confidence to close out those matches, which we're going to work on.
Yeah. And typically you're going to have some nerves if you're taking on a Power 4 school, and we're just a little military academy, but there was none of that. Your girls came out. What do you attribute that to? Did you give them a pep talk, or is that just they're just growing and getting better?
The whole week I just pointed out how just because they're a military school, which means they have so much more going on, we are so limited in our time, so we have to give 200%, and we cannot play the name. If we're going to play the name, like, they should be afraid of the fact that you guys are taking mech engineering, physics, everything, and having military training at 7 a.m. So I told them to make their opponents a lot smaller and just play the ball.
Fantastic. This week, a little bit of a different challenge, but 2 matches back-to-back on a Saturday, Metro and Montana. Obviously you scheduled it. What are you trying to do here?
We're so limited in our dates, so got to make the most of people willing to come play us, and that's just the way it was set up after we got that fall invite. So I was lucky that Metro State was willing to mix it up and come see us and have a doubleheader.
What will you talk to your team about? Because obviously, if you're going to play that many sets, could end up being 6 sets. Can they be ready for this?
Yeah, I think it's great to pressure them and be up for the challenge. They're definitely going to have to sleep really well the night before and get that rest in between those 2 matches where they can. But I think it's going to prepare them for the tough matches ahead in season. What does this do for you? I mean, obviously down on the road, there's tournament play and things like that. Just mental fortitude of having to, okay, now I've won this, but there's one right in another hour. We weren't seeded last year at conference, and when you're not seeded, you're playing back-to-back matches rather than the seeded teams that get that first day off. So I'm just trying to prepare them, and usually we play conference in some hot locations. So just big picture, something they can reflect on when the going gets tough. They can look back and be like, I've done this. I've had a doubleheader, 2 matches in one day. And they do it in the fall as well. So I think it's just preparing them for the long season ahead.
Last question I have for you. Such a long season. You played in the fall. Now you're back starting really the spring season here in the winter, but it goes through. Tell me, what do you want to see? Obviously, that was a good first step for you against CU.
Well, I want to see when we do get up, because we're going to have other opportunities against big schools to get that lead. I mean, even in our conference, we've got some big top schools. So I want to see us, actually using that confidence and closing out those matches and being fearless, is which we practice all the time. It's funny because they would get to that point and then they get a little fearful and think that they don't deserve to be there, but they definitely do deserve to be there because we're putting in the time on the court. So.
Fantastic. Coach Hollander, thanks. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.